Hello. Today, you will hear a story about a man's revenge. I have lived in a private house since childhood. These memories from childhood pleasantly warmed the soul. We had a big yard. His father constantly ennobled him. We also have a bathhouse and a gazebo. Then there was a special area for barbecue. I admired the way my father was engaged in improving the house. I have always tried to help him. I enjoyed taking part in all these processes and learning. My father tried to build his dreams house. There really was everything for a happy life. It is because of this that I chose my life path. Initially, like my father, I worked in a construction company. I earned not bad money, saving money for my future. I remember one evening I was walking along the city alley. A frightened girl ran up to me. "Young man, excuse me, please, can I ask you for help?" The girl asked anxiously. "Yes. Of course. What happened?" I asked. "I just got robbed." The bag was snatched right out of the hands and there was both money and a phone. "Can I use your phone to make a call?" "Of course. Yes. Here. Hold the phone. Hello, Misha? Do you hear me? I just got robbed. Can you pick me up from here? I am in the city park near the first monument. Have you left the city? I got it. Okay." The frustrated girl handed me the phone back. "Thank you, young man." "Girl, let me give you a ride. Where do you need?" I offered my help. "If you would give me a lift towards the shopping center, it would be just fine. I live near there." "Sure. No problem. Come on. My car is standing there." That's how I met Layla. I drove her home that evening, and we got into a conversation along the way. It was so easy to communicate with her as with anyone else, although we had known each other for a couple of hours. After that, we agreed to meet again. Our communication continued. And now more than 16 years have passed in marriage with Layla. I still loved her and cared for her. I like making romantic surprises for her even though I was tired as hell at work. But like in any other family, everything was not perfect in ours either. "Layla, of course, I'm not a foodie, but could you have made something different already? I have been eating this boiled beans for the second week already. Look at him, and I'm tired of you working hard at your construction site for days but you really don't bring normal money." "What do you mean by normal money? I make pretty good money, and I'm damn tired, but I still try for you." "What are you trying to do? Sitting in the same place?" He cooked dinner for me a couple of times and gave me flowers to a romantic. "Layla, aren't you ashamed? I think that quite often I give you pleasant surprises, only you have noticeably ceased to appreciate all this. You don't work anywhere and tell me what to do. Everyone do not boil. I just want you to start changing something in this life. Darling, I'm working on it. You know what? Are you talking about your holiday complex? Excuse me. Of course, maybe you are a good builder, but I doubt that you can organize such a thing. Forget me for being blunt, but I think that you will simply spend all the accumulated money in vain." "Well, thanks for the support." I freaked out and slammed the door. Of course, this was not always the case. There were many pleasant moments in life. It's just that the older we got, the more prudent Layla became. She spoke to me more and more often harshly and rudely. I didn't understand what it was about. But I did not give up my idea. I was confident in myself. It was my dream. And finally, I built a great recreation complex. There was a great sauna, a chic gazebo, a guest house, a beautiful lake, a picnic area, and many other details that I carefully worked out. I looked with admiration at the work I had done and was proud of this place. Layla also changed her mind. She became more loyal, especially when this complex began to bring in good money. I hired staff to take care of the customers and keep the place in order. We started a completely different life. I stopped working day and night at a construction site. There were worries in the new business, but they were much more pleasant than before. Layla immediately felt like the lady of this place. She liked to tell everyone that we have a whole complex for recreation, which continues to grow every year. One day, I got a call from a rather interesting customer. "Good afternoon. Is that Billy?" "Yes. I'm listening to you." I answered the phone. "My name is Victor, and I would like to order the services of your complex from you. A lot of people told me about this place and praised it, so I just can't miss the opportunity and not visit you." Victor: "Very nice. Glad to hear that. Yes. You won't waste your time here. I think you'll like it." "Great. Then let's go soon. I want to rent the whole complex for a couple of days." "Fine." Agreed. Personally, I did not often meet clients. This was done by the staff on site. But after his arrival, Victor called me again. "Billy, hello again. I apologize. I understand that you are a busy person, but I would love to meet you in person. I absolutely love this place. Perhaps I would become a sponsor. Can you take your wife and come right here, relax together, and talk? Well, in principle, you scored well. And I'm interested to hear your suggestion." "Fine," I said and went to talk with Layla. To be honest, I felt some kind of bad feeling. Victor somehow slippery communicated. It was heard through a church courteous manner. And I was also very embarrassed that he knew about my wife. Layla, to my surprise, happily agreed, and we went to our recreation complex. "Well, you've finally arrived. I'm already tired." Victor came out to meet us. "Hello, Victor. Meet my wife, Layla. What kind of flower is it so incredibly beautiful?" Layla, you are tenderness for men's eyes, began courting my wife Victor. He looked at Layla so strangely with a barely noticeable smirk on his face as if he knew her. Victor was in a dressing gown from under which various tattoos were visible. "Victor, it's not hard to notice your tattoos." I said, "Yes. I had a rather stormy youth. This is her reminder." Victor answered enigmatically. I went to the bar for a drink, and when I arrived, I saw Victor massaging my wife's shoulders. "Honey, and Victor, it turns out, does a great massage," my wife said hurriedly so that I wouldn't ask too many questions. "Yes. I can do it. And what did I do with the girls on the massage table? I smeared them completely with oil and kneaded their body in various places," Victor said playfully, not looking away from my wife. "I'm sure the girls were happy. Just don't lean too hard. It's still my wife," I said with a touch of anger. "Billy, don't worry. Your wife is in good hands." Victor started joking. I didn't like this guy anymore. He focused more and more on my wife. We talked a little about business, but I really didn't like Victor's manner of communication. In a fit of passion, he began to tell that he would have built a much larger complex here. We would become true friends and business partners. It all sounded too sweet to me. As a result, we said goodbye to him. His proposals did not interest me. Recently, I noticed that Layla began to go to this complex much more often. "Layla, my dear, I see that you often travel to our recreation center. What's the matter?" "Honey, I care about our prosperity. I decided to help you more in this matter. This is really a great place to stay, but I decided to fix some shortcomings. Believe me, you will definitely like it." Layla answered me with a smile and excitement. I had no reason not to trust my wife, but she behaved very strangely as if she didn't finish something. All these troubling doubts swirled more and more in my head. And I decided to follow Layla a little. What is she doing here? I thought that I would not see anything special in this, but it would help me to calm all my suspicions. Once Layla was going to go on business to this complex again, I discreetly followed her. We really soon arrived at our recreation center. Layla hastily ran into the guest house. I noticed that there were no staff there. I wonder what she will do here alone. I crept up to the guest house and crouched near the half-open window. It was heard that inside Layla was not alone. I carefully looked out the window and saw Victor, who was importantly pacing around the room in a dressing gown. Their conversation was a big surprise for me. I took out my phone and decided to record it all on video because I felt that something was wrong here. Layla, dear, you have finally arrived. What's up? How's it going with Billy? Victor turned to my wife. I collect all the necessary documents. Soon this place will be ours. Layla spoke with a satisfied face. Yes. It would be faster. And then your husband does not trust me much. He doesn't want to cooperate with me. I'm already tired of driving around his ears. He got me. He considers himself to be in charge everywhere. Yes. Without me, he did not have all this. And it should all be mine by right. I don't want to see him anymore. Everything needs to be well planned. Since this moron cannot be persuaded, then I will dig him right in, this forest. You only need to choose the moment. Are you sure you can handle it? You ask. I will quickly deal with your husband, and he won't have time to utter a word. Show the documents you have. Here you are. Layla handed over the documents to this bastard. Great. With these papers and my connections, we'll get you a gift deed in no time without the bastard. His place is right in the ditch. Now let's go to the sauna. I just prepared it before your arrival. Help me relieve my male tension. Victor said with a grin. You bitches mean, I thought to myself. Good thing I made this video. I was literally thrown into a fever. I couldn't concentrate on anything. I could only hear the loud and fast beats of my heart. I warmed up a real snake, which without unnecessary regrets, was ready to kill the husband with whom she had lived so much time, and even indulged this criminal for the sake of profit. I was hurt and disgusted at the same time. After catching my breath a little, I tried to concentrate on what I should do next. I got up and went into the guest house. From the table, I collected all the documents that Layla stole from me unnoticed. Then I went to the sauna. Through the small, misted window, I could see them performing oral sex. I was terribly disgusted, and I was furious. Therefore, without further hesitation, I unscrewed the temperature switch to the maximum and propped up the door. Hey, slippery nits! I won't bother you, I yelled as I knocked on the window. What? Who is there? Alarmedly distracted from the satisfaction of Victor, my wife. What do you think, you stupid bitch? I noticed that you are cool, so I decided to add a spark. Get warm. Billy, what are you doing here? Layla began to scream in fright. Billy, man, you got it wrong. Open the door and we'll talk. Victor spoke while pulling the door. What did I not understand? How do you fuck my wife? I didn't understand this. And you, Layla, you dirty hall. What have you become? Billy, don't be stupid. What are you going to do? Do you want to fry us here? Victor asked angrily. It wouldn't be bad. That is exactly what I will do. I wasn't here. So freaks, you finished the game. I know everything. I will treat you the same way you wanted to treat me. Billy, no. Please forgive me. Layla continued to scream. Billy, come to your senses. You're not a murderer. How old already? And Victor? No creatures, cooking your own shit. Good luck. I stepped back a little and heard them squealing in horror inside. Victor tried to knock down the doors, but nothing came of it. His strength quickly left him. They thought I left them to die. But I was not going to kill them. I still lacked this. I waited until they were already almost unconscious and pulled them out into the street. They looked like two boiled crayfish, but there were no burns, just a lack of oxygen, and a high temperature knocked them out. Fucking bastards. Maybe you still needed to be held a little. Otherwise, they weren't very fried. I jokingly spoke to myself. I decided that later I would relive everything that happened here today. I left all my regrets and reflections for later. Now I decided to say goodbye to all this without hesitation. I tied up these bastards and loaded them naked into a trailer. When I was driving to the police station, these creatures were already awake and squealing like uncut piglets, frightening the people around. The police initially detained me too, but then they released me. The sheriff was a good friend of mine. He said that Victor was already wanted in many states, and now this criminal will go to jail for a very long time. The video I took was attached to the case. My wife was also sentenced to several years for complicity in an attempted murder and forgery. But the most pleasant thing was that when this creature was released, it would have absolutely nothing. The irony of fate. She wanted to take everything from me, but in the end, she herself was left without anything. I thought I was going to be depressed because I had to throw so many years out of my life, but it wasn't all that bad. Thanks to my lucky revenge. So I boldly looked ahead and enjoyed life without regrets. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our